Welcome to Movie Recaps with Brian. Subscribe below for daily recaps. Today we're recapping Clown in a Cornfield, directed by Eli Craig. The film opens in Kettle Springs, Missouri during the town's golden years when the Bay Pen corn syrup factory still ran at full steam. A group of teenagers sneak into the abandoned cornfields near the factory for a late-night party. Amid the laughter and alcohol, the scene carries a local legend energy, with kids daring each other to venture deeper into the corn. Two teens, breaking off from the group for privacy, wander too far and encounter the Bay Pen mascot, Frendo the clown. What begins as a prank turns gruesome when the figure brutally murders them. Their deaths are never solved, cementing Frendo as a whispered boogeyman for future generations. Years later, Quinn Maybrook, played by Katie Douglas, moves to Kettle Springs with her widowed father, Dr. Glenn Maybrook, played by Aaron Adams. Their relationship is fraught with unspoken grief after Quinn's mother, Samantha, recently died of illness. Quinn is reluctant to start over in a small town where everyone knows everyone else, while Glenn is desperate to rebuild their lives. At school, Quinn meets Cole Hill, played by Carson McCormick, the kind but conflicted son of Mayor Arthur Hill. Cole introduces her to his circle, Janet, sharp-tongued and skeptical; Matt, arrogant but fun-loving; Ronnie, eager to please; and Tucker, quiet and somewhat gullible. Through Cole, Quinn learns the story of Bay Pen's fall from grace. The syrup factory burned down under suspicious circumstances, and the community never recovered economically. The youth of the town are resented by older residents, who see them as disrespectful and destructive. That night, while scrolling through parody horror videos online, Quinn notices something chilling. In one video mocking Frendo, she sees another Frendo lurking in the background, silent, unacknowledged, and too real. At the same time, Tucker is harassed outside his home by a lurking figure in a clown mask. He assumes it's a prank, but Frendo breaks into the house and kills him, his disappearance going unnoticed until later. The town gears up for its 100th Founders Day festival, meant to restore pride and unity. Floats roll through the streets, children laugh, and Frendo imagery, supposed to be ironic fun, decorates the town. But the event turns into chaos when Matt clumsily sparks a fire, setting an enormous Frendo float ablaze. The accident humiliates the town. Sheriff George Dunn, already resentful of the teens, accuses Quinn and her group of sabotage. He hauls them to the local jail as an example of youth run wild. That night, Matt returns home embarrassed and drunk, but his punishment is far worse. Frendo ambushes him in his garage and decapitates him in a graphic sequence. Meanwhile, Quinn and Cole sneak away to a farmhouse party. The night is lighthearted at first, music blaring, kids drinking in the barn, but ends in carnage when a partygoer is struck down by a crossbow bolt. Panic erupts as more Frendos emerge from the cornfield surrounding the party. Rust Vance, Quinn's grizzled neighbor, bursts in with his shotgun, gunning down one attacker. He warns that the teens have stumbled into something much bigger. The group flees into the night as multiple Frendos pursue them. Rust fights valiantly, blasting one clown's hand off, before staying behind with a makeshift bomb to slow them down. Quinn, Cole, Janet, and Ronnie crawl through a sewer grate to escape. They emerge filthy, shaken, and more isolated than ever. On the road, they encounter Sheriff Dunn, played by Will Sasso. Instead of helping, he dismisses their story and arrests Cole for trespassing. It's clear the law isn't on their side. At the same time, Dr. Glenn Maybrook is lured into a horrific scenario. He's forced to perform surgery on a gravely injured Frendo while another masked one holds him hostage. But Glenn proves resourceful. Using his surgical knowledge, he turns the tables and kills his captor with a scalpel. Meanwhile, the teens are hunted through the corn. Ronnie is ripped apart by a chainsaw-wielding Frendo. Quinn and Janet stagger to a farmhouse for safety, but their hope is short-lived when Janet is impaled by a pitchfork. In a brutal fight, Quinn manages to kill her attacker, only to be captured by 3 more Frendos waiting outside. Quinn awakens inside the husk of the burned-out Baypen factory. Around her stand the remaining friendos. One by one, they remove their masks. Mayor Hill, Sheriff Dunn, Mr. Verne, a bitter teacher, Otis, a shopkeeper, and Trudy, a waitress. Their twisted motivation is revealed. They believe Kettle Springs is dying because of the younger generation's recklessness, disrespect, and social media mockery. Rather than accept their own failures, they've scapegoated the teens. Mayor Hill admits he himself set fire to the Baypen factory years ago, destroying the town's livelihood but blaming the youth for the collapse. Now he intends to kill Quinn and Cole in a staged murder-suicide to serve as a warning and rallying cry for the town. Glenn crashes onto the scene, mowing down Otis and Trudy with his car. Quinn, fueled by rage, electrocutes Sheriff Dunn by jamming a cattle prod into his mouth, then rams Mr. Verne with a vehicle. Rust reappears just in time to save Cole from being executed by Mayor Hill, though Hill slips away into the darkness. 1 year later, Kettle Springs is quieter, though scarred. Glenn is running for mayor, determined to undo the corruption of his predecessor. Quinn is preparing to leave for college, closing the chapter on the town and her trauma. But as she drives away, she discovers a Baypen music box hidden in her back seat, a sinister reminder that the nightmare might not be over. She hurls it out the window, but the box clicks open on its own, playing its eerie tune as the screen cuts to black. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below to watch more movie recaps with Brian. Comment below which movie you'd like to see recapped next.